amount of light hits the camera lens. That's how the pictures come out. But in MRI and in X-ray, it depends upon so many other parameters. Like in MRI, what are the magnet strength, what are your relaxation times, PR and P, what are the pulse sequences you are using. That decides the contrast level. So I'm gonna switch gear a little bit on the image space and how this like field of view and spatial resolution related. So in MRI, basically the size of the image is defined as field of view, and field of view can be in both direction, X and Y. So sometimes if you read the paper, they will write FOV X, FOV Y. That means FOV. If it is isotropic voxel, then it is fair enough. Just refer it to FOV. So FOV X and FOV Y. Delta X is the smallest pixel size that we can differentiate. It's called spatial resolution, and the pixel size is defined as field of view over matrix size. And if you want to evaluate the voxel size, that would be defined as field of view upon matrix into slice thickness. So now let's introduce the idea of K-space. K-space होता क्या है? जो title है. Basically, it is an array of number that represent the signal intensity in spatial frequency domain with frequency coordinates kx and ky. So, like in any coordinate, like we are sitting here, x and y coordinates हमारे होते हैं. In MRI, everything is like in kx and ky. However, these pixel values in K-space do not have simple interpretation. They are very complex. So we need to understand what the pixel in K-space means. But before understanding what the pixel in K-space means, let's just understand what's the relationship between image space and K-space. क्या है दोनों का relation? So ऐसी हमारी MR की जो raw data होता है, that is how we acquire. Whenever we acquire the data in MRI, it's always like in this form. एक हम इनवर्स फूरियर ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन भी हम पढ़ेंगे थोड़ा सा लगाएंगे तो हमें ये MRI की इमेज मिल जाएगी, चाहे जो भी है, चाहे एब्डोमेन का है, ब्रेन का, लाइक इन दिस केस ब्रेन का. सिमिलरली लाइक सो वी हैव K-space. जस्ट डू द इनवर्स फूरियर ट्रांसफॉर्म. किताबों में मोस्टली फूरियर ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन लिखा होता है. फूरियर ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन बहुत बड़ा टॉपिक है. वी कैन नॉट स्टडी दिस क्लास. Also it's beyond the scope of this class. So like discrete Fourier transform, fast Fourier transform, inverse Fourier transform. तो हम IFT यूज करते हैं. बट इफ एट द सेम टाइम अगर आपके पास ये MRI इमेज है और आपको K-space लेना है, तो आप जस्ट Fourier ट्रांसफॉर्म करेंगे तो ये इमेज भी मिल जाएगी आपको. So like sir, Dr. Gaurav boss has given us some apps. There are few apps on K-space also you can download on your phone and you can play around कि K-space में कैसे अगर सेंटर ऑफ K-space करके अगर रीड अगर चेंज करेंगे तो आपको क्या उसका इफेक्ट मिलेगा. तो ऑडिसी के नाम से है K-space का ऐप, आप फोन में डाउनलोड करके देख सकते हैं. But why do we care about K-space? The main reason is it is exactly are intertwined with the MRI image quality. There is a huge trade-off between spatial resolution, field of view, temporal resolution, K, and other parameters. And basically here, K-space determines the scan time. So suppose in this case, if you are scanning 32 lines in phase encoding step, and per line takes around 0.5 seconds, then we just multiply 32 into 0.5 for the total acquisition time. And if you are increasing the averages, like in MRI we call max averages, then you just multiply with that average, that gives you total acquisition time. So what is K-space? Again, it's a raw data, MRI raw data, but what exactly is raw data? So here you can say the center of K-space is the DC component or zero frequency. That is how the information is being stored. As we move along in the X direction, suppose we are in the halfway direction on X axis, we will see the frequency gets changed. And if you move further away, then we will have higher frequency that is being saved in the K-space. And suppose if we are moving towards the southwest direction, then we have diagonal waves. So these all are the waves that is being stored in the terms of frequency and phase in the K-space. So like any musical instrument, what we do, we take different notes, we add them, and then it comes with a beautiful musical like notes and rich music sound. Similarly in MRI, we take all those K-space values, we add them up, and we use some mathematical tweaks, and then we can get the MRI images. just a small movie. You can see here. So once we are at the outer, so once we are in the halfway, if you see here like halfway, we just see the edges of the images. However, once we acquire the center of case space, we can see the full image has been given. So it depends on which area we are working in the MRI case space. Then only, so basically we need to acquire the entire case space to get the full image. K वैल्यू होती क्या है? K जो है वो आपका इंटीग्रेशन ऑफ ग्रेडियंट स्ट्रेंथ है. MRI में तीन तरह के मैग्नेट्स होते हैं, एक मेन मैग्नेटिक फील्ड, एक RF और एक ग्रेडियंट. So जो K वैल्यू होती है, that varies with the gradient strength and the phase value with the K times X. This is MRI signal equation. This is a very complex equation and it's very famous equation as well. So this is the Fourier transformation of this, and this is what we have talked about, like what is Fourier transformation. In one dimension ये है और two dimension ये है, इसके इतना डीप में जाने की जरूरत नहीं है आप लोगों को. So basically here when we choose K space and sample properly, so we have good image quality. Like the first image here you can see full resolution, Nyquist criteria is being fulfilled. However, if you just acquire the subset of like only blue data here, then our resolution go down because we are not going towards the end of the case space. If we further skip those lines, then it is like we can have problem of the aliasing. So let's take a deeper look into the pixel of case space. What basically one point in the case space means. So if you open up or zoom in, you can see it is consisting the information of the intensity as well as phase information. तो आपके इसमें इंटेंसिटी भी होती है और फेज दोनों इंफॉर्मेशन सेव होता है. आप लोगों को कोई डाउट हो, कोई क्वेश्चन हो, यू कैन जस्ट रेज हैंड. दिस विल बी लाइक इंटरैक्टिव लेक्चर, ताकि आप लोग को एटलीस्ट few things you can carry your home. So what is K space in the center of K space? Center of K space is basically contrast. So the अगर सेंटर पे इंफॉर्मेशन है, that gives you the contrast, and the details are outside, so that is called resolution. तो अगर outside की इंफॉर्मेशन है, वो आपका उसमें resolution की इंफॉर्मेशन. This is another small movie, so you can see here. Once we are acquiring the center of case space, as we keep acquiring, we are getting beautiful images with the contrast and the better resolution. So we keep acquiring and see all the details in the images. However, on the other flip side, if you just exclude the center of space, इसमें हम center of space को exclude कर रहे हैं, तो आप देखिए यहाँ पे contrast खत्म होते जा रहा है, but only like edges we are getting, edges are detail sometimes we call it. तो इसमें resolution आपको मिलेगा और center में आपको contrast मिलेगा. So it's up to you what is your like diagnostic criteria, what you want to look in the images, that we can play with the space. So again the same thing. Center is having contrast and periphery is having details or edges or resolution. There are so many methods for case space filling. I have just listed a couple of here, like Cartesian case space filling, like just like one line XY plane, radial like I have shown over here, or sometimes call it spiral is a different kind of mode, or segmented case space. We are not going to cover this. This is a very vast topic. So again, like K-max, what is the minimum sample case space? So again, like if you see here, K-max is inversely proportional to 1 over delta x, like one small width of the pixel. So you can see it affects the spatial resolution. However, delta K is equal to 1 over FOV, so it affects the field of view. Now coming to the second part of my talk, what is image quality? So to know image quality, just we will redress our memory with the signal to noise ratio, what is contrast to noise ratio, what are resolutions, geometric fidelity, artifact reduction, and other factors such as field of view, bandwidth, and magnitude. So we just take a pulse sequence. Everyone knows about the pulse sequences. So here I have just taken a basic GRE pulse sequence, that is gradient we call echo sequence, not a spin echo. So basically we are having RF pulse combined with the slice selection gradient. तो हमने यहाँ पे एक slice select कर लिया brain का. अब हम इसको switch on कर दिया हमने gradient को. और जैसे ही आपने slice selection किया, आपकी brain slice आ गई. Now we'll understand how these once we change the other gradient, how K space gets changed. So here you can see once we turn on the phase encoding gradients, it reverses towards the y-axis. We turn on the pre-Faussig with gradient, because it is negative load, so we go to the negative x direction, and then we will take the whole, because once we turn on the ADC value, then our analog to digital converter, we take the entire phase space, and the same thing we keep doing for the entire phase space. So this is how we acquire the phase space. Coming to the signal to noise ratio, what is signal to noise ratio? Basically, it is the ratio of voxel signal and visual divided by standard deviation of the background noise. So here you can see on the left we have high SNR images, on the right we have low SNR images. So if suppose someone gives like whether most of the paper they say like what are the SNR values of the images. So to calculate the SNR, you just put a voxel on the image wherever you want to calculate the signal value, and but never calculate the noise somewhere here. Always put the noise voxel outside of the images and take the standard deviation of the background. That will give you the signal to noise ratio. So whenever you design any pulse sequence, you need to have two SNR rules of thumb. दो चीजें आपको ध्यान में देनी है, एक स्कैन टाइम है और दूसरा रेजोल्यूशन है. So scan time is related with the SNR. Then once scan time goes up, then our SNR also goes up. However, it's not linear. So अगर आपने scan time दोगुना कर दिया, आपका signal to noise ratio 1.4 times से बढ़ेगा, because this is square root of 2. Resolution doesn't go like scan time. Resolution is inversely proportional to SNR. अगर आपने resolution बढ़ा दिया, signal to noise ratio कम हो जाएगा. So there is, that's what we call trade-off. एक चीज अच्छी होगी, दूसरी चीज कम हो जाएगी. So like here, if you want to improve your resolution from the voxel 2x2x2 to 1x1x1 millimeter cube, or dropping from 8 millimeter cube to 1 millimeter cube, our SNR goes down by 8 times. The resolution is linear, unlike SNR with the second form, and here like it depends upon the pixel size. So if you have little pixel, you will have higher resolution. If you have bigger pixel, you will have low resolution. However, SNR is parallel imaging. Like parallel imaging, everyone knows about whenever we do the DWI or DTI, we do the parallel imaging, like sense grappa. So there it doesn't go like SNR is like in native pure SNR. So it gets further reduced by acceleration factor as well as coil geometry factor. So here you can see the moment we keep increasing our acceleration factor, अगर speed बढ़ानी है MRI में, तो हमारा noise भी बढ़ जाता है. So there is a trade-off कि अगर आपने बहुत ज़्यादा accelerate ताकि बहुत तेज करना है scanning, एक्सरे में क्या किया आपने, शूट किया, मिली सेकेंड में आपकी इमेज आ गई. MRI the disadvantage of MRI is it takes longer time. It takes longer time. And the advantage is it gives you the beautiful soft contrast information. So here you can see here R equal to 2 to 3 to 4, आपका noise बढ़ जाएगा. And similarly it gets reduced by the coil geometry factor. Another thing is SNR magnetic field strength से बढ़ता है. इसलिए पहले हमारी 1.5 और 0.5 टेस्ला की मशीनें होती थी. अभी 3 टेस्ला, 7 टेस्ला, 10.4 टेस्ला. The more the magnetic field strength, the better the SNR is. But SNR is not everything. There is another parameter that is called contrast to noise ratio, which is very important when you have to pick any lesion or delineate with the normal versus abnormal. So we need contrast as well. What is contrast? It is defined as the absolute difference between the signal between two tissue of interest. So signal of tissue 1 minus signal of tissue 2 divided by standard deviation of noise. So here you can see low contrast images are here on the left. On the right we have high contrast images where we can segregate between gray and white. This is just to give you a picture. I'm not sure whether it is very visible, but here like just how SNR and contrast to noise ratio are related. I have just highlighted here 3 boxes. Here goes from increasing from left to right, noise goes from top to bottom. So here I have put the contrast level same for all these 3 boxes. However, SNR gets increased. Similarly, echo time, if you want to increase the contrast, you need to play with the echo time. So if you wait for a longer TE, you will have increased contrast. Phase is also evolving. So this is also tells about the main magnetic field and RF inhomogeneity. अगर आपके फील्ड में बहुत ज़्यादा inhomogeneity है, like sinus है या पेशेंट का कुछ मैकेनिक इम्प्लांट है, which we are going to study soon, then आपको ये मैप देखना पड़ेगा. Then you can correct also कि कहाँ पे आपका बहुत ज़्यादा मैग्नेटिक फील्ड inhomogeneity है, तो इमेज आपकी सही नहीं आएगी. इसको सही करने के लिए आप फेज मैप देखते हैं. So from left to right here, resolution, we are having higher resolution at the end. This is lower resolution images. So if you just zoom in here somewhere, you can see on the low resolution images, it gets blurred. But however, if you have high resolution images, you can have great details on the smaller map. Coming to the pulse sequence part, low resolution on the left and high resolution on the right. So you can see, to have high resolution, you need to increase the phase encoding steps as well as bigger readout gradients. So for that, you need to go further into the K space. जो आपका पेरीफेरी में K space है, जो resolution की information दे रहा है, उसको आपको acquire जब तक नहीं करेंगे तब तक का high resolution नहीं मिलेगा. Again, it's the same thing. If low resolution, bigger pixel, high resolution, less pixel. But for high resolution, you need to go to the periphery of K space. That means you need to acquire more and more higher frequency. This is just a simple representative diagram of small field of view, large field of view, and how matrix, FOV, and slice thickness are generated. So, what is the difference between small FOV and large FOV? FOV means field of view, or the size of image dimension in MRI. So, अगर आपको large FOV चाहिए, you need to have tensor K space sampling. So here you can see on the left you have sparse sampling. इसको बोलते हैं sparse sampling, दूर सैंपल किया है. Or if you want to have a larger field of view, then you have to dense sample your data. So again, for field of view, if you want to understand how the pulse sequences work, small FOV on the left, large FOV on the right. So K space sampling density determines the field of view. So you need to have more dense sampling for the larger field of view. This is just to show the importance of large FOV, and if you don't properly choose the FOV size, you can see here aliasing occurs if you not choose or sampling enough the field of view. And this is how the field of view X and Y selection varies with the key values. What about bandwidth? It's a bit complex.
प्रेजेंटेशन लड़कियां लेके आई वो कब होगा खाना खाने
So
पर
increasing bandwidth helps us to reduce the chemical shift artifacts. Like many times we have fat water swapping. So to deal with those artifacts, we need to increase the bandwidth. But at the same time, once you increase the bandwidth, it decreases the SNR. Or if you want to increase the SNR, you decrease the bandwidth because it's reverse. And also increases the bandwidth, reduces the in-plane artifacts. A few artifacts, I'm not going to cover all the artifacts in the class because there are so many artifacts. So while the signal wrap, when you have small FOV, then you can have wraparound effect. It can happen both in frequency encoding direction as well as phase encoding direction. But it is more predominantly in the phase encoding direction because phase encoding direction में हमारा बहुत ज़्यादा time लगता है. So to get rid of aliasing, कैसे हम उसको दूर करें? Increase more dense sampling or increase the phase encoding sampling. So this is just a real example shown by Vikas Kodani, who is the chief of a chair of Michigan Radiology. So note this apparent lesion in the cerebellum, and on the reconstruction it was turned out that this patient are no areas into the brain. तो आपको बहुत केयरफुल रहना है कि आपने अगर प्रॉपर फील्ड ऑफ व्यू नहीं चूज किया, आपने अगर प्रॉपर मैट्रिक्स साइज चूज नहीं किया, तो आप नॉर्मल को एबनॉर्मल आ जाएगा अगर आपने again you can see here like what are the side effects of parallel imaging. It increases the time, it decreases the time, but at the same time will have lot of aliasing. So what to, like here you can see so many residual aliasing in this picture. So solution to deal with the parallel imaging artifacts: decrease the acceleration factor, change the sampling pattern in K space, and for Gibbs ringing, increase the matrix size or resolution. We can have a lot of distortion in MRI images and words around sinuses, words for long readouts like PPI or echoplanar imaging. So if you are acquiring just like Cartesian K space or like just line by line data or simple T1 and T2 images, we don't have distortion. Basically most of the time it's non-distorted images. However, if you are using PWI or DTI images, we use the fast gradient and we can see a lot of distortion because of long readout and higher gradient distance. So this is like camera lens, a distortion like this pillar gets bent because of warp lens. Similarly, if your gradient is non-linear, then you can see the edges get distorted. So you need to check, you can call your principal engineer to check the gradient linearity. If your gradient is non-linear, then you will see the bending on the edges. A word about the image quality and AI. Everyone now talks about the artificial intelligence as well as deep learning. तो आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस और डीप लर्निंग का बहुत ज़्यादा रोल है इमेज प्रोसेसिंग में आपके इमेज रेजोल्यूशन और एसएनआर को बढ़ाने में. So deep learning produce promising results in terms of image denoising as well as visual grading. Just a brief about MRI near metal implants. So you can see whenever you put any metallic implant, our patient is having metallic implant, then we can have lot of magnetic field inhomogeneity. So to reduce metallic artifacts, it's better to go at lower magnetic field distance. So 1.5 Tesla is better than 3 Tesla.
क्या हुआ?
Use spinning or fast spinning instead of gradient GRE sequences. Use stir sequences. A higher bandwidth will be useful. Use
मंत्री है क्या?
selection as well as use subsampling. You can see here in plane
असली मज़ा बच्चों की तरह रहने में आता है. ठीक
high bandwidth as well
है.
as
एक प्रोजेक्ट लाया लड़के ला उनका देखते हैं हम. गिफ्ट दे दें इनको.
So here this is the image of a
गिफ्ट में कितने
you can see patient have a screw here. So on 2D FSC a fast spinning you can see lot of artifacts. However, if you use the CNET sequence, you can get rid of those. So to sum up my talk, we just learned about today like what is phase space, which is basically a representation of an image and as a sum of its right various sinusoidal rays. Gradients move us around in K-space. Filling of K-space can be done in Cartesian K-space, spiral K-space as well as segmented K-space. Center of K-space is having information about contrast and edges of K-space is having the details of resolution information. Resolution, if you want to increase the resolution, you need to go to the periphery of K-space. If you want to increase your field of view, you need to have better sample intensity. And bandwidth shows like how fast you move through the K-space while reading the data. Deep learning or artificial intelligence improves the image quality, image processing as well as segmentation and lesion detection. Lastly, all of these affects image quality. So more scan time will have more SNR, but at the same time our image might be having motion artifacts because आपने longer time for patient को उसके अंदर रखा है. Higher resolution अगर आप करेंगे अच्छा resolution करना चाहते हैं, then you will have to deal with the less SNR. Metal artifacts can be dealt with use high bandwidth or swap frequency encoding with the phase encoding. And with that, I would like to thank you all. And,
Very good. Thank you.